Calm down, Goober. I think I hear something. My cat was all I had left in the world. When my company went under thanks to the pandemic, I lost everything. My house, my car, all my worldly possessions. I had to file for bankruptcy. But what hurt the most was seeing all my employees lose their jobs. I tried. I did everything I could. I sold everything I owned just to keep us afloat. But the pandemic just went on and on and on and on, with no sign of the world ever going back to normal in sight. I became homeless. With a bag of clothes on my back and with Goober in tow, I started living in the sewers. That was when I found my true love. And it turns out, she was a princess. Shout out to Jackson Connolly for today's story. Watch until the end and comment your title ideas for the follow-up of this story, or for a different one. We'll pick the most unique ones. If you can't think of a title, make sure to like the ideas you prefer in the community section, and enjoy the video. At first, I hopped around homeless shelters trying to get back on my feet. I begged my old bank to help me get back on my feet. But no matter how many times I went back to plead with them, they just threw me out. One time, as a security guard was dragging me out of the building, a guy came out of his Lambo, and as soon as he saw me, he put his hand to his nose. "What the heck, Manuel? I told you to never let this hobo in the building ever again! Why is he still here?" It was the bank manager, Luigi. Funny how he was such a good friend when my business was doing well. How he would always ask to come to the clubs with me when I had a VIP table. But now that I needed the bank's help, he wouldn't even look me in the eye. "Luigi, please. You know I'll be good for it. All I need is a small loan so I can get myself stable again. Please." "Ugh! Get your hands off of me!" Threw his cup of coffee straight at me, and I was drenched from the neck down. It was hot, and it stung, but I didn't even care. I just wanted him to remember that the only reason he got that promotion was because of how much business I brought him. "Luigi! Jeez, man, just look at me! I need your help!" "Don't you dare touch me! You look like a sewer rat, and smell worse. Besides, Manuel, do your job!" The security guard dragged me off the property, and when he saw that I still wanted to get back in, he threatened me with his bat. It was as if Luigi had cursed me, because not long after that, I had to resort to living in the sewers. It was the only place safe from the weather and the cold. It wasn't much warmer than the street, but at least no snow or rain fell there. And I could light a fire without any cops hassling me and Goober. I had to resort to begging, and when I'd collected enough coins, I bought a cloth and some supplies. I cleaned people's shoes and wiped people's windshields, and at night, I'd go back to our sewer home to munch on people's leftovers that they'd hand me in the streets. One night, I heard a shuffling that sounded like footsteps. Goober heard it too. "Meow! Shh, Goobs!" There was even more shuffling. And then, like a ghost, she appeared. Thin as a whisper and with platinum blonde hair that reached to her ankles, her long, flowing dress was so muddy and dirty, you wouldn't have guessed it used to be white. "Hello?" She was so weak she could barely speak. "Hi. You hungry?" I didn't even have to ask twice. The ghostly girl shuffled towards us and plopped herself next to me on the bonfire. She stuffed her face with whatever she could reach. I didn't get to eat much that night, but I was happy I was able to help someone else. I thought she'd leave after she got her fill, but Annika stayed the night. She and Goober became instant besties, and they snuggled the whole night through. That was how I met her, and that was how our weird, raggedy family began. In the day, we would beg, rummage through trash, or clean people's cars to get by. And at night, we'd go back to the sewers to share in what little we had. One day, I found out Annika could sing. She had the most beautiful voice. And so, I worked my butt off every single day and scrimped and saved what pennies I earned, until I could buy Annika a nice dress and a guitar. I took our little family to the park and we sat on the fountain. I would play and Annika would bless the mere mortals with her heavenly voice. And Goober would lie there and enjoy the sun. People would flock around us and they would clap, and they would shower Annika with praise and money. We were happy, and we were able to buy food that wasn't someone else's leftovers. But still, we couldn't leave the sewers. And we were reminded of that when a couple of sorority girls passed by our singing fountain one afternoon. "Hey, Mandy! Mandy, come over here! Look how cute! The cat looks like it's bobbing its head to the music!" "What?" "Oh." The second girl who appeared immediately turned her nose up. She flapped her hand in front of her as if to say the smell was intolerable. "Ugh! They smell. No, Stella, get away from the cat. She could have rabies or AIDS or whatever. Yuck! Oh my god. Oh, why do you people smell like sewer?" Annika stopped singing. "Because we live there." "What? Gross! Then you shouldn't be out here contaminating this beautiful park with your grossness." I couldn't let the girl called Mandy distract Annika. Those kinds of people, you just need to ignore. But then, two things happened in an instant. A girl called Stella reached over to give Goober a piece of her chicken sandwich. And being hungry all the time, Goob immediately went to grab it with her mouth. And that moment, Mandy saw that her friend was about to come into contact with my cat. And she freaked out. "Ah! Don't touch it, Stella!" Mandy threw a book at Goober and it hit her squarely in the face. Everyone watching was shocked at what they saw. I immediately jumped to see if Goober was alright. Luckily, it looked like she was alright. But Annika was already on Mandy. She grabbed her hand and twisted it so that Mandy was forced to kneel. "Apologize!" "What? What the heck? Let go of me, crazy beggar lady! Yuck! Your germs! Apologize!" Mandy pulled at Annika's hair and started pummeling her with her purse. I had to separate them. But when I tried to help, Mandy pushed me. "How dare you!" She whipped her phone out and began filming. "How dare you touch me with those dirty, grimy, disgusting fingers of yours! Ugh! I'm posting this to my Insta. Do you know who I am? I'll have you arrested. Don't you ever touch me. My father's friends with the mayor, and with one text, you're finished. You dare touch me? Look at this. You scratched my Louboutins. Not even both your lives will be enough to buy one of these. You sewer-dwelling, trash-eating, no-good welfare trash. You're trash. Why don't you try to find a job like the rest of us? All you know how to do is beg." She turned to her friend, who was just as stunned as everyone. "Come, Stella. We'll be late for our pedicures. And now I have to swing by the house so I can wash this hobo stench off of me." But Stella wouldn't budge. So Mandy just stomped her feet and walked away in a tantrum. Stella bought us clothes that day. She let us into her home and let us bathe. She bought us food and even packed us a casserole that her mom made for her. And then she drove us and dropped us off at our sewer. I'm sorry it's not much, but this is all I can do to help. And I'm sorry about my friend. Well, she's not even my friend, just a sorority sister. I cried. Nobody had shown me that much kindness in a while. Thank you. Thank you. You've helped plenty. Goober, Annika, and I had full bellies that night. We were happy. And intoxicated from the amount of food we ate. I kissed Annika for the first time, and we ended up cuddling the whole night through. It was a week later that Stella woke us up in the middle of late morning. Oh my god! Oh my god! Thank God you guys are still here! She then held up a newspaper clipping off a little girl with long blonde hair next to Annika's face. I knew it! I knew it! I knew you looked familiar! I was still groggy, and I had no idea what was happening. What? What's she talking about, Stella? Why are you here? But the girl ignored me completely. She was much too focused on Annika. Annika! You're here, aren't you? You're the missing princess! Slowly, I saw Annika nod her head. What? Princess? What do you mean? Annika? Stella showed me an article on her phone. It was about a kidnapped Scandinavian princess who has never been found. And the photo, old though it was, clearly looked like a younger version of the girl I love. Stella's dad was a diplomat, and with his help, Annika got reunited with her family. It was sad that her parents hadn't lived to see her return, but her country rejoiced at the good news. And I got depressed. I thought I'd lost her. And what would a princess do with a homeless man anyway? It would just be a scandal. But what Annika did was something I would forever be grateful for. She rescued me. She took me with her. She turned me into a man worthy of being a prince. Yeah, you heard that right. Annika married me, and Stella was one of her bridesmaids. I bet Mandy died of envy when she saw her sorority sister at a royal wedding. Years later, Annika and I visited our old city to show reporters the sewer we used to live at, and I passed by my old bank to retrieve some documents and my dad's last letter to me, which were in my safety deposit box.